Is it boring to only wear solid colored clothing? I am asked this question very often. Is it boring to wear solids only? And today I want to coach to this. I want to talk about it. It is something near and dear to my heart, and I want to help you make sense of solid colored clothing, why it might feel boring to wear only solids, what's actually going on here, and why it doesn't have a whole lot to do with the clothes. I want to say thank you to YESOUL for sponsoring this video. A few months ago, they reached out to me and asked if I would like to try one of their treadmills. I said, absolutely, yes, I would. So a little bit later, I'm going to share about their treadmill. Hello, and thank you for stopping by my channel. I am Kristen from Kristen Kane Style. I am a style and mindset coach. And what that means is that I help women just like you understand how their thoughts and their feelings are creating a style, a wardrobe, an outfit that they actually don't love wearing, and what to do about it. When your thoughts and your feelings are not in support of the outcome you want with your style, you'll never get there. Doesn't matter how many videos you watch, it doesn't matter how many new pieces you buy, how much great editing you do in your wardrobe, or how many terrific outfits you put together. If you don't understand what's happening in your mind that is keeping you stuck, the stuckness stays. I work one-on-one with women inside my signature program, Style Therapy. I have one spot left before the waitlist opens. So if you have been waiting and you hear me say this weekly, I help women like you, and if you're stuck in your style and if you want help understanding your mindset and how it's actually creating a result you don't love, it's your turn. It's time for you to take action and book your sales call and see if it's a good fit so that we can get your style struggles sorted so that getting dressed can actually be fun. Every single week, I speak with clients who are in the process of style therapy who tell me some version of, I am actually having fun getting dressed. I am actually loving using what's in my wardrobe. I got rid of more things because I know my style now. I'm starting to understand what that style self-trust is all about. And as it grows, it's really clear what doesn't belong in my closet, and it's also really clear what pieces I'd like to add. I hear those wins weekly, and I want them for you. So if you've been waiting, there's one spot left in Style Therapy before the wait list. Book your sales call today so that you can grab it. So is it boring to wear only solids? This is a question that came from one of you here. And it is also something that my clients ask pretty regularly because there is this misconception or this belief, limiting or otherwise, that wearing only solid colored clothes is boring. So today I want to dig into this a little bit and talk about why the idea that wearing only solids is boring has much less to do with the clothing than the mindset. And this is the work that I do with clients one-on-one. So this is right in my wheelhouse to help you understand why it's not really about whether you wear solids or patterns. It's about what you're thinking. This outfit's too simple. I kind of feel invisible. My clothes aren't interesting enough. I should wear prints like everyone else. Don't I need patterns to look stylish? My wardrobe feels far too basic. Or if I don't add something, then my outfit doesn't look finished. If I don't add something patterned, then my outfit looks unfinished. I'm supposed to be more creative than this. Solid colors feel too safe. I think I should be trying harder. Those are all learned thoughts, learned judgments that aren't actually true. They're just what your brain is offering you when you consider wearing all solids. One of you, I am coming to you today sitting in front of my closet filled with basically all solids, wearing solid colors. So it isn't fundamentally true that in order for a wardrobe to be interesting or to feel authentic or to feel stylish, it has to have pattern in it. Certainly I have some pattern in scarves and I have a couple of pattern tops and I like stripes, so I have some stripes usually. And beyond that, I don't gravitate towards patterns. I like a beautiful floral in the summer and I incorporate more of that in the warmer weather. But most of the year, I am in solid colored clothing layered in different ways and I feel really good about that. So it isn't that you have to wear pattern. And I recognize some of you are watching this and thinking your wardrobe is way too boring, Kristen. I absolutely have to have some pattern. While we're on the subject of things we think are boring, I personally find cardiovascular exercise to be very dull. I am not someone who really has any interest in running, especially a long distance. However, my doctor recently told me that my blood pressure is a little high and she would like me to try to elevate my heart rate more often. And then a few months ago, someone from YESOUL reached out and asked if I wanted to try the T3 S Plus treadmill with 10% incline. And I said, yes, I absolutely do. I think that could probably be a way for me to have fun while elevating my heart rate. And that is exactly what has happened. I actually love being on this machine. I do work out regularly. My workouts are usually weightlifting or Pilates, and they just weren't elevating my heart rate high enough. So this YESOUL treadmill is so easy to use. It has very few buttons, which I like, and it's really user-friendly. The screen is nice and big. The speakers are nice and clear. I can listen to a podcast, I can listen to music while I run, I can watch a YouTube video or watch a Peloton class. You can plug in your phone and bounce whatever's on your phone up to this big screen. So you can watch your favorite YouTube video, catch up on all the Kristen Kane style that you might have missed lately. I watched a whole bunch of Copenhagen videos while I was working out, which to me is kind of the most fun way to work out. Then you can also bounce Peloton classes right onto the screen.
Welcome to Peloton Outdoor. My name is Camila Ramon, and this is your 20-minute...
This might be a little ambitious for me. I just wanted to show you how it works. The incline goes up and down really smoothly and automatically. I can tell you that I'm very pleased with this T3S Plus. I love the fact that it has the incline feature and the nice big screen so that it doesn't feel boring or dull to actually get in the steps and get in my cardio. And it's added an element of fun to my workouts because I'm very used to lifting weights and doing Pilates, and that was feeling kind of stale. And so this is nice to mix in with those other workouts. I love the fact that this YESOUL treadmill doesn't take up much room. The lines are really clean. I had a treadmill once over 20 years ago, and it was a beast. This one is actually modern and sleek, and I love the way it looks. And it folds up really easily and stays up and out of the way with no trouble. And when you're ready to use it again, you just push against this bar and it drops slowly and safely all by itself. Now let's get back to the style question at hand. Is it boring to wear a wardrobe that is mostly solid colors? And I want to quickly address kind of the elephant in the room, and that is perfectionism. Perfectionism is always part of the work I do inside style therapy, because whether or not a client comes to me thinking that she has perfectionistic tendencies, when you're stuck in your wardrobe and you're feeling really frustrated by your style, oftentimes, almost always, there are some perfectionistic things running in the background that you may not be aware of. I am a perfectionist. I had no idea until about 5 years ago when I had a light bulb moment that truly changed my life. And I am happy to say you don't have to eradicate perfectionism from your life. It's not a problem unless you don't recognize it. If you understand you're a perfectionist, you can work with the way your brain works and with the way you like to do things and not have it be a problem. So perfectionism tells women that there is a right way to dress. It also says that solids are too easy and therefore not good enough, as well as the more you add to an outfit, the more it shows that you've made an effort, and that simple choices equal lazy. And if it feels too basic and too solid, it must be wrong. And maybe some other women can wear solids, but you have to do more to look acceptable and like you fit in. This often comes up in tandem with limiting beliefs about your body and limiting beliefs about your finances. When you believe that other women can wear solid colors and look incredible because they can afford better pieces, somewhere along the line, the world of style and fashion has made us believe that if we're going to wear a basic black sweater, it has to be the best quality we can afford. It has to possibly even be put on a credit card and paid off for many months and years to come, because the best quality is the only way that basics work. And I'm here to tell you that isn't the case. The other way this shows up, as I said, is in limiting beliefs about the body. Well, that woman can look great in all solids because she has a body that works for. But my body, I have to do more to make it look good. Therefore, patterns or something more complex than just solid colors needs to happen. Both of those are just thoughts. They are just beliefs that you may have that are keeping you stuck and possibly not wearing the pieces you want to because you have this idea that solids are boring. I can tell you that any pattern or solid or color can be boring. It's not specifically that solids are boring, although your brain might tell you that that's true. That is not true. It's that you believe that and then you operate from that belief. Solids can look incredibly stylish, and I would argue that most of the timeless, classic, stylish women over the years wear more solids than patterns. And you don't have to love solid colors, but if you want to wear solids, we can break apart the belief that solids are boring, because that isn't fundamentally true. The other thing I want to point out here is that perfectionism usually comes with this idea that there's a right way to do things and there's a wrong way to do things. And so if you don't believe that you are doing solids the right way, or if you believe that wearing solids is boring and that it would be wrong to do that, your brain is calling a lot of the shots and keeping you stuck, possibly in a style you don't love. And there's that drama that isn't necessary. We can create a situation where you make a decision about whether you want to wear solids on one day or always, or whether you don't, and then learn to love your reasons for making that decision and then move on. You can be someone who always wears solids and feels and looks incredible, or you can be someone who decides solids are boring and you like your reasons for thinking and believing that and wear patterns. Perfectionism often has women believing that wearing only solids is kind of a cop-out, that they didn't try hard enough, that there wasn't enough effort involved, and therefore they don't look as stylish as they could. I actually believe the contrary, that solids create the cleanest, simplest, most elevated, easy to style wardrobe. It's just that we have to pay attention to what your brain's thinking before we can make great outfits using solid colored clothing. So in and of themselves, solid colored clothing is not boring. Your thoughts about solid colored clothing is what is making them boring. You are feeling like they're boring because of the thoughts you're thinking. You've decided that that's the case, and then it becomes really hard to put an outfit on made of solid colors and feel good in it because your brain is telling you, I should try harder. This isn't right. I don't look stylish enough. I didn't put any effort. This was too easy. Perfectionists do not like things that are too easy because we believe that effort makes us successful. So if a wardrobe that is made up of solid colors and really great classic foundation pieces becomes easy and effortless to wear, we look for a problem. We decide, well, wait, it can't be that simple. I can't look amazing if I didn't work hard for it. So that too gets in the way. This idea that if it's not difficult, then I must not have worked hard enough and therefore it can't be stylish. Totally not true. My wardrobe could not be any easier to put on, and yet I feel great in the things that I wear. So the problem is when you think something like, this is too plain, then you add more things to the outfit or you buy more things to put with the pieces, and then you don't end up liking it all that much. It doesn't feel authentic. It's not aligned because what you really wanted to wear was the all solids, but your brain wasn't on board. And when you think I need to do more, then you overcomplicate and you bring in pieces that make the outfit not feel like you, because now there's so much going on that what you really wanted was that great black turtleneck and a pair of jeans, but that felt too simple. And when you have a belief that patterns equal interesting or prints equal stylish, then you often end up buying things that you never actually wear. When what you really want is self-trust. You want style self-trust so that you know, hey, I actually prefer solid colors. I want to just wear those and I want to learn how to do it so that my brain supports me so that I can get dressed in the solids and not feel like it's boring and actually know that it feels authentic and fabulous for me. I'm going to share a little about my own journey wearing solid colors because I didn't set out to be someone who wears mainly solid colors. But what I realized was at a time when I needed to be really frugal and very careful about the financial choices I made for my wardrobe, I found that I could get more bang for my buck, so to speak, out of a solid colored piece. Therefore, it made it easy to want to incorporate solids into my wardrobe. And when I would fall in love with a pattern and end up bringing it into my wardrobe, I pretty quickly realized that there were far fewer ways that I could wear that pattern than the solid colors. So for me, it became easier to invest in solid colored pieces because I knew I would get more wear out of them. I often find that with my clients, wearing solid colors, at least initially as they're growing their style self-trust, can be very helpful. And this is because you can actually see your preferences. You're not being swayed by the pattern as much as you are just paying attention to the shape and the feel and the texture and the way that it is on your body and the way it works with the other pieces in your wardrobe. You're not complicating it by wondering, does this match these pants? Does this go with these shoes? Is this pattern too busy for this occasion? You've removed some of the components so that your pieces speak for themselves and you can get really clear on, do I like this neckline? Because you're not wondering, is it the neckline I like or is it the pattern I like? You only are deciding on the shapes and the colors and the fabrics and the textures of the garment. You haven't introduced the variable of pattern, which makes things more complicated. So this allows you to get dressed faster because you're not worried about, does the pattern in this blouse does that brown actually go with these pants? Or does this striped sweater actually have the right color in it to wear with these shoes? That's been removed and the solids can just play together and pair together so that you can grow your style self-trust of what you actually like on your body from a shape and silhouette and style standpoint. And once your style self-trust is in place, if you want to embellish your wardrobe with statement pieces and things that are much more patterned and printed, absolutely go for it. It's when you're growing your style self-trust, if you have a wardrobe filled with pattern, it makes it noisier. It makes it harder to really identify what you like and don't like because you have the added component of a pattern that can make it more difficult to pair with other pieces. So if you're feeling like your solids are boring, before you add any new patterned pieces, I would urge you to, for an extended period of time, maybe 30 or 60 days, wear the solids and wear them in new ways and challenge yourself to make outfits that feel interesting and authentic and fabulous without reaching for the patterns, without rushing out to buy a pattern that seems like it will solve the problem. So often my clients feel like buying that one more unicorn piece. If I could just find the right patterned blouse, all of my style struggles would be removed because that piece would make it possible to make so many outfits. And that's rarely the case. So focus on silhouette and fit and texture and shape and contrast and get to know the basics and the solids in your wardrobe so that you can then decide, is this actually boring or can I really make great, authentic, fabulous, stylish, chic outfits using only solid colors? Or once I get really good at that, I can see how adding a fabulous plaid blazer or a beautiful floral blouse could make sense, because once you've dialed in that solids wardrobe that you know how to wear on repeat and you know how to make outfits with and you feel really comfortable in that and you've quieted the noise of solids are boring, then you can look to the patterns in your wardrobe and identify whether they feel aligned or whether they feel like noise. There is no right answer. A wardrobe made of solid colors does not have to be boring. If you have that belief, you just want to question that belief, kind of dig around and see where it came from. Where did you learn that solid colors are boring? Why do you believe that about your own wardrobe and your own style? Do you ever see a woman in solid colors where she actually looks incredible? For me personally, I'm usually drawn to women who are wearing all solid colors and doing it in a really stylish, elevated, authentic way. That inspires me. That doesn't mean I don't look at a client or a woman in a beautiful floral blouse or a beautiful floral jacket or a dress or something that is very patterned and think, that's dynamite. But I've decided for me, at this stage in my life, I prefer solids. I am very happy with my mainly solid colored wardrobe, and adding a print scarf in the winter and adding a couple of floral sundresses in the summer, that works for me. It doesn't have to work for you, but if you're questioning, is it boring to wear all solids? My guess is that you kind of want to wear all solids, but you haven't figured out how to do it and look authentic and feel like you look fabulous when you get dressed. And the last quick thing I want to say about this idea that wearing all solid colors is boring is that oftentimes, and this is probably a topic for a different video, oftentimes when a client feels that her wardrobe is boring, the problem isn't usually in the wardrobe. The problem is in other areas of her life where she isn't feeling super fulfilled. That doesn't mean there's never a case where the wardrobe is just kind of dull and isn't actually authentic and doesn't light her up to wear it, and she doesn't exactly put the pieces together in ways that are kind of wow and she wishes she could. Totally, that happens. But more often than not, that idea of I need to bring in more pieces, I need to organize my closet better, I need to build better outfits with the pieces I own, that idea that that's going to relieve the boredom is usually not the case. We're wanting our wardrobe to prevent us from being bored, where maybe there are some other areas of our lives where we want a little more excitement or we want to live a little bit bigger. We're making it the job of our wardrobes to keep us busy and entertained. This often happens with women who shop a lot. This idea of, well, I'm bored, so I'm going to go shopping and I'm going to buy something new. That doesn't usually solve the problem of feeling like your wardrobe is boring, because you either don't really love that piece so you don't wear it, or you wear it, but then pretty quickly you're bored again. So the idea of your wardrobe solving your boredom struggles is actually putting too much pressure on your wardrobe. We want to have full, fabulous lives, and we want our wardrobes to support us in living those lives. That wardrobe can be all solids, and you do not have to feel bored in those outfits, and you also do not have to feel bored in your life. The thoughts that you're thinking create the struggles that you're having. So what do you think about a wardrobe that is primarily solids? Does that seem boring to you? And if so, investigate why and wear the clothing that's in there that's solid and play around with it and see if you can make it less boring, and then decide to add the pattern if you want to. So to answer this viewer's question, is it boring to wear only solids? I do not believe that it is, but you need to decide that for yourself. Since you're asking the question, I would dig in further and get really clear on, where did that belief come from? What happens if you wear only solids for a week? How do you feel? What happens to your style and your wardrobe and your outfits as you go through 7 days of wearing only solids? Do you like it? Do you not? There are lots of ways to kind of pull this apart so that the belief isn't keeping you stuck in a style you don't love. As I mentioned at the top, I have one spot open for style therapy before the waitlist begins. If what I share about how your mindset keeps you stuck in a style you don't love makes you wonder how that's happening in your wardrobe, and you think that possibly style therapy could be the answer, I bet it is, because I have yet to meet a woman who has a style struggle that I can't crack. There is a link down below to my calendar. I have one spot left. book your sales call so that it can be yours. Thank you again to YESOUL for sponsoring this video. I love my treadmill. So if a treadmill is something that would make your life easier and help your blood pressure, there are links down below where you can find out more information.